Hello. Congratulations. You made it to day 4 of my Job Search Accelerator. And beyond yesterday, beyond understanding who you are and what your unique value proposition is, today is easily the most important day. Today, we're going to talk about networking. And I'm sure you've heard it. I have said it. 45 to 85% of all jobs are landed through connections in your network. That may or may not instantly hold true for you, but I bet if you think back to your career as a whole, you're going to start to see how your network has really helped you in your career. And if it hasn't, be prepared to just be blown away at the power of a network. What you're going to learn today really is going to make a difference in accelerating this search and getting you landed quick. Assuming you did your homework yesterday, we are ready for today, and that is advanced networking. The reason why you need to do your homework from yesterday is because if you go to networking events and you cannot clearly articulate who you are, what you do, and what problems you solve, then how is your network supposed to help you? All right, so in the comments, I've already linked up links to the previous days, so go back and catch those if you have not had a chance. Today, we're going to be doing advanced networking, as I mentioned. All right, let's dive in. Oh, and I also want to remind you, if you're having any questions and you want supplementary materials, there is a LinkedIn group called Career Accelerators that is connected to this workshop. All right, so let's dive in. The power of a network. Number one, just the basic human need for connection. A job search, especially if you're out of a job while looking for a job, can be and is one of the most isolating experiences that you will have. The biggest other important thing about a network are the opportunities and job leads that are opened up because of the network. We all agree, I think you would agree, that having a raving fan internally in a company deliver your resume or give a glowing recommendation to the hiring manager is the number one best way to land an interview. And from there, obviously, you have to deliver. But our connections also can make us aware of job openings that aren't public. I know of a few cases where a job was actually created for a person because of a glowing, raving fan. And of course, we've all seen when a leader leaves a company and then when they go to their next company, they bring all of their best people with them, right? So these are examples of how your network can help you in your job. They can also help with emotional support and motivation. Connect with people who are going through the same thing, be accountability partners, be cheerleaders, bounce ideas off them, have them look at your branding documents and reflect it back at you. You can practice interviewing together. You can practice elevator pitches. Contacts can also help you with insights and advice. They can give you a perspective of how to skip the things, not make the mistakes they made, industry knowledge, events to go to. They can take you to an event and be your wingman and introduce you to people. They can also help you understand a desired field, learn the language, point you towards podcasts, books, etc., so that when you do land an interview, you are ready. Our network can also help us with skills development and learning through referrals and recommendations. They can help you bypass even certain stages of the hiring process. All right. Access to influencers and decision makers. To introduce you to key contacts, they recommend you for promotions, projects, or provide mentorship, right? Networking is a give and take. I want to make this very clear because right now I know from experience when you're in a job search, you just want someone to help you. You just want someone to throw you a lifeline and give you a chance. But you have to remember, especially when you're doing the cold networking with people that you don't know or people you haven't spoken to in a while, you can't just go in with an ask. You need to show interest in them and what their projects are, congratulate them, nurture. Networking is not a fast conversion unless it's your close contacts who already know you, past employers, that kind of thing. But there's the fast turnover, there's the like nurture, and then there's the slower stuff. And we're going to talk about all three. Genuine relationships are built on mutual benefit. Offering to help others and being genuine is going to make that connection faster. So start making those deposits now. Today, reach out, just send a message to 5 people who you know are still in your industry, who you maybe haven't spoken to in a few years. Take a gander at their LinkedIn, find something to comment on. Kudos to them. Oh, I see you're still doing this. Tell me about what you're doing now. Can we get together for a coffee? I would love to catch up. All of the positive energy that you put out into the universe is going to come back. And I'm going to share some examples of this. All right, Sarah and the boomerang effect. Sarah could not believe it was happening again. Or she was now experiencing her 4th consecutive tech layoff. She networked extensively and landed a few interviews that did not convert to offers. She had come close once when a cold networking contact had gone to bat for her. But after several rounds of interviews, she did not land that job either. And after 4 months, she finally landed after being courted by 2 different companies that she discovered through her LinkedIn posting activities. Just conversations had started in the chat and people had reached out to her and said, hey, we have something open. A few months into that new job, she was tasked with reviewing some software solutions. And one of the vendors happened to be at the company where she had almost landed. This is the guy who went to bat for her. And when she went into the sales meeting, she came face to face with that man. And he said, you were my first pick and I was fighting for you. And he said, I really think you would have been a good fit. But now she was in the position to advocate for his product with her company. So you can see that the good waves that she put out, and that gentleman that helped her, he put out good waves for her. And now she was able to reciprocate and help him out with a sale. Goes around, comes around. All right. Why do more people not network? Why do we not spend half of our time or more in our job search networking? Well, it's uncomfortable. You might have lack of access to networking opportunities, but that's just a story you made up in your head, because there are networking opportunities everywhere. I live very, very rurally, and I still attend networking events all the time, mostly virtually, mostly one-on-one virtual coffees, that sort of thing. And I do make an effort to go down into in-person networking opportunities 2 to 4 times a month. It doesn't matter. You're going down to get groceries anyways. Staff your day, do your networking events, get them in. Lack of clarity and unclear communication. If you did not do your homework yesterday and you don't know how you can tag someone in to help you and you can't articulate it, of course, networking is not going to accomplish a lot. The fear of imposing. If you approach any of these conversations with how you're going to add value to them first and foremost, it's going to knock down that, oh, I can't ask them for help. Show up for them, support them, show interest in them. The helping is going to come naturally. Some people might have a limited networking size. I didn't even remember my LinkedIn login when I started back after my 12-year career gap. But I got into it. I slowly started connecting, and it turned me on to all these different career search opportunities. I started connecting with other job hunters, and my LinkedIn connections quickly grew. Now, this wasn't people in my industry necessarily, but just people. I landed over 100 new contacts just from one job searchers networking group alone. And what it does is when you start looking for jobs, you're going to see more and more second connections. And when there's a second connection, people don't automatically click away from you. They're like, oh, she knows so and so. It's a little bit of a soft connection, warm introduction kind of situation. And also, when you're in a networking group with job searchers, everybody wants to help everyone else because we're all, sorry, at that point, everyone's in the same situation. Networking struggles, lack of relationship building. Just that reiterating, you need to make deposits in these relationships. What that can look like with strangers is when people post something, they take the time to make a post, they want engagement. Like, comment, add value, start a conversation on their comment, and you're going to become a known entity when you keep coming back and back. And then later, you make a post and tag this person. Did you know that? Did you know on LinkedIn that you can tag people that you are not connected to? Yes. People often overlook hidden opportunities for networking. Who do you focus on adding to your LinkedIn network? You might think that it's only industry people. And I know from experience, you're trained on other social media platforms where most people try to just connect with people they know to protect their internet security. LinkedIn is a completely different ballgame. LinkedIn is more about growing your network in every direction. So people in your industry, thought leaders in your industry, your mom, your dad, your cousins, the spouses of the soccer parents, volunteers, connect with everybody on LinkedIn. The sooner you can get above 500 connections, the sooner you're going to find when you're applying for roles that you have a lot more second connections. Once you identify your specific blockers to your networking outreach, you can develop strategies to overcome them. So set specific goals around your networking and find an accountability partner. You can use our LinkedIn group. Okay. Networking never ends. In a job search or not, networking is a skill that you should always be continuing to develop and nurture. When you continue to grow your network, you're making those waves. And next time that you need a job, people are going to snatch you up real quick. Oh, she's an all-star. I need to get her. I need to pull her into my company. Also, Sarah's case study that I shared illustrates you never know when those good waves and vibes that you put out into the universe are going to come back your way. Make networking a habit. Connect with people everywhere. Be prepared to connect. Let's talk about that. Okay. On your phone, if you open up the LinkedIn app and you click up here on the search bar, just put your finger down on the search. Right there in the corner, your QR code is generated and you just push on it. When you're at a networking event, you can just hold this up and people can scan it and they'll go right to LinkedIn and they can connect right there at the event. Don't wait for someone else. Don't hand a business card. Connect right away. I often just screenshot this QR code so that I can just pull it up quickly when I'm at events. Depending on your industry, you may have a link tree, you may have one of those, what they call dot cards, whatever it is. Just be prepared to connect and take control. Don't passively hand off the information waiting for someone else to connect with you. Start with easy, connect with family, friends, people you see on a regular basis, affinity points. One day I sat down and I just connected with everyone in my city that went to my university. I just sent, hey, blah, 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 alumni here, would love to connect. Did you know that there's an active alumni group in the area? Here's the link to sign up. I reached out, I gave them some value, and I didn't ask for anything, right? You might have other special interest groups, people in your industry, in your geography, depending on if it's a small niche. People love to get connected. Coworkers, I mentioned I've had a 12-year career gap. And LinkedIn was just kind of coming out, and I was on it, but not really before I had left the workforce. I sat down and I connected with all of my ex-coworkers from pre-career gap 20 years ago. It was so fun to visit each of their LinkedIn pages and just kind of see what they had been up to and reach out again. And then I shared maybe a funny moment or memory from when we worked together. Get some momentum going with these connections. Those easy wins build that momentum and help you get on to the next thing. Now, LinkedIn only lets you do about 5 personalized connection messages per month for free. If you're in this process, what I do is the people I know who are going to connect with me without a personal message, I just hit connect, 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 connect. After we connect, then I would send that, hey, I was so good working with you 20 years ago, blah, blah, blah. You can upgrade to premium. I honestly don't remember how many messages you get, but you will run out. If you're trying to grow your network by hundreds of people, you are going to run out of those messages. So just keep in mind who would connect with you without sending a personalized message. Don't waste those messages on those people. Engage with your current network, reach and connect on the phone, email, congratulate them. Build new contacts in person and virtually. I go to tons of networking events. On Meetup, there's tons of speed networking, networking for connection. Go to a couple because you can practice your elevator pitch. And anything I go to, whether it's a training from another coach, other workshops, I sit there and I pull up the participant list on Zoom and I connect with every single person who is there. These are like-minded people who are learning the same thing that you are learning, and at least 50% will accept your connection request without even knowing who you are. Again, I don't waste my personalized connection requests on these people unless there's a reason to. I was recently at an event that was pitched as a sort of education / networking hangout event, a co-work day with some learning. And someone sat next to me who I knew. She went to the event. She saw me. She sat next to me. I knew she was in a job search. And we sat through the first session and she looked at me and said, this isn't for me. This is more for business owners and I'm a job seeker. I'm going to go. So she left. But what she didn't realize is the 30 or 40 people in this room all are people who are into networking, into supporting each other, are in a community. Lost opportunity. You're already there. You already got dressed. Make your rounds in the room, talk to people, connect with every single person in this room. I guarantee that there's going to be 1 or 2 people that you're going to want to have a follow-up conversation with because they might be in your industry. They may have connections in your industry. So always be ready to network. All right, here's another case study for you. Candace found herself in a job search and connected with an industry peer through a loose connection. Again, just started conversations in threads. Someone made a loose connection. Oh, you should talk to this person because they're interested in the same thing. This company did not have a job at the time, but this virtual coffee resulted in a new relationship. These 2 women just kept following each other, commenting, liking on each other's posts, that sort of thing. The woman, this woman even sent a job posting at other companies as she came across them because she has now become vested in the success of this woman to help her get a job. Well, Candace ended up being scooped up by a prior employee as a boomerang hire. She was a known commodity. I mean, that's a good lesson too, depending on your industry. Keep up with the people of the company you just left. Don't burn bridges because there's many other departments and areas for you to be scooped up. But 5 months later, into this working for her boomerang company, her company, Candace was contacted by that woman who had they become friends at this point. She now had a job opening with an offer for Candace. Fantastic stuff. All right, another case study. This one's about networking to open doors, and repairing relationships. And this is a 10-year span story. Rose had voluntarily ended her previous employment due to a misaligned culture. She was miserable. She had the ability to have a runway, so she left. But she didn't think it was going to take 10 months and she still didn't have a job. She was starting to get stressed out. But she also kept trying to remind herself that rushing into a bad fit was going to be worse than being unemployed. And with 20 years of experience serving her community, she had cultivated an extensive network. And she knew when the right role opened up, she would be a competitive candidate because her network would back her up. So sure enough, Rose found herself interviewing at a company where she had one close connection that cracked open the door, got her resume to the top of the pile. And her extensive experience propelled her to the final two. But what she realized upon researching was the CEO that was going to be interviewing her was really close friends with Rose's old boss from 10 years prior. A boss that had fired her. Oh, would you want to be in this situation? But the thing is, even though that job 10 years ago didn't end well, Rose had made an effort to stay connected with this woman over the 10 years. She had mended the relationship. She had showed interest in this woman and what she was doing. And her efforts paid off because her old boss recommended Rose, ending her then 11-month job search. Networking never ends. Don't burn bridges. Even if there were bad feelings, it's really easy on LinkedIn to follow people, like, comment. Slowly heals over time. All right. I hear people say, Maria, I don't have the right network. I don't have this network of people who can open doors for me. Well, how do you grow that? Right? Well, first you start hitting the phones and email, talking to the people you know, because that will make you more smooth and more confident in understanding your value proposition and being able to communicate it. You attend events, as I mentioned, virtual and in person. Connect with everyone at this event. Some of them will be interesting to you, some won't. Some will just come to connections. You'll never talk to them again. It doesn't matter. Look who's going to be at these events, especially the speaker lineups. If you can see the attendee list, and research ahead of time. Come with a plan into the event. What is success at this event for you? But caution. Always show up authentically, make connections. It isn't about take. It's having genuine conversations, because those are the ones that are going to lead to more afterwards. Join professional organizations. That could even be things like your local Rotary clubs, civic organizations, United Way, whatever your industry is. Find places where you can go and be around people who are higher than you, have higher positions, more experience. Just try to connect, volunteer on a board if someone else is on the board who would be a good connection for you. All right. Oh, and church groups too. As I mentioned, meetup groups have been pretty helpful for me, surprisingly. There are quite a few business-related meetup groups, but also go to the hiking meetup groups too. Connect with people. Volunteer and collaborate. You can gain new skills by volunteering, and your volunteerism is needed. You might say, well, I'd rather be spending my time working on my job search. But honestly, you need the break. You need to feel like you're giving back and doing good. It will build you up and make you more confident to get through this time. And depending on where you volunteer, you're going to make a lot of connections. And for instance, if you want to learn a specific skill, you want to learn social media marketing, offer to do some social media marketing for them and learn it. And then you have something new on your resume, showing that you're upskilling continually while you're having this career gap. You can also host your own events and networking groups. Start your own meetup group. I started a career search support group that ended up going for 10 months. It took 10 months for everyone, and we had new people come in the middle too. But it kind of dwindled after 10 months because most people had landed or moved on to the next thing. It was so helpful. All right. You're on LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn right now. You obviously know that LinkedIn is so important in a job search. It is the world's largest virtual professional network. Not only can you instantly connect with anyone, you can interact with 900 million professionals around the world. Insane. There are numerous professional development opportunities. I'm sure you've seen where people post their certificates from completing LinkedIn training. Again, just demonstrating that you're continually upskilling. LinkedIn has really added more and more AI tools. There's resume matching to the job listings. There's recommended jobs where you're the top candidate, all that stuff. Some of those things you have to pay premium to access. LinkedIn really changed how we look for jobs. In the good old days, the hiring managers, the VPs, they were behind a firewall, right? The secretary. You couldn't just reach out and tap them on the shoulder and have a conversation. But with LinkedIn, you can talk directly to anyone. I shared my story yesterday about how I had target companies that I really wanted to work for. And I just started commenting on any of the posts that the CEOs or VPs or what the department chairs of whatever departments I wanted posted. And soon I found myself in conversations in the thread with these influential decision makers. Amazing. The other thing you can do with LinkedIn is research people that have your dream job. You can look at all the steps they took in their career to get there, and you can reach out to them and say, hey, I see you made this leap from this to this. Can you tell me a little bit more of how you did that? I'm working on orchestrating the same move. People love to help. And you know what? They might not reply. Oh, well, move on to the next person. I also mentioned you can tag people in your posts when you post about your past successes, current things that are going on in your business or in your company, things that your projects you're working on. You can tag experts or other people who are tangentially connected, would be interested, to see if you can get them to start a conversation in the thread. That's how you position yourself as a thought leader in whatever it is you do. Comment on your future company's post, make connections at your future companies through people search. Go into the company, click on people, and you can see one of the first things I did was who went to my university. Connect with them. Hey, I see you work for this company. I wanted to learn more about this. I've talked to many people that way. People are so generous with their time. Again, try to get to 500 connections. It's that critical mass, kind of like that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, where suddenly you'll start seeing a lot more second connections when you're looking for jobs. And those people can potentially serve as those virtual coffees to get you in the door at this company. And on those virtual coffees is when you say, hi, oh, I saw you did this. Congratulations. You're working on this project. This is what who I am and what I do. Who else could I talk to? Who could I talk to next at your company to learn more about what you do? This accomplishes 2 things. Several times I've done this, and I've spoken to 5 to 6 people who have just passed me on to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. And when you land in an interview, you have such an insider's view of your experience bullets and what you can talk about, and just really differentiate yourself in that interview. All right. Let's give you another case study about Neil. Neil consistently posted on LinkedIn in industry related content and just started conversations. Every time he posted, he would tag 5 to 6 people, rotating the people. You don't want to spam people, but just really positioned himself over several months as a thought leader in specific industry. He posted twice a week. When he found himself in an unexpected job search, he connected with career networking groups, which is where I met him, and he connected with people in his industry, as well as people who lived in his geographic area. One weekend, he was attending a local expo in person in his community to do some networking. And a woman approached him. She recognized him from LinkedIn and stopped him to say hi. After a friendly conversation about mutual industry interests, the woman mentioned that she worked at XYZ company. And Neil naturally worked in the detail that he was looking for employment. And that was the end of his 5-month job search. And I actually spoke with him about a month ago. And he just continues to talk about how wonderful this role is and how they have created another separate outreach role for him because of his way that he positions himself as an influencer and an industry leader. Fantastic story. Okay. Just a cautionary tale. If you're not careful, networking can quickly turn into a pleasurable social diversion, taking time away from your search. So whenever you go to events, be honest with yourself about your time blocking. Have a specific goal in mind, how many connections you're going to make. You research the attendees ahead of time, who you're going to talk to. It's also okay just to go for mental health. I have gone to in-person education events and ended up staying an extra 2 hours because I'm just really enjoying connecting with adults and getting out of this lonely job search place that you're in. So that's okay, because improving your mental health and getting energized in your search is a good thing. But I always tried to limit in-person networking events to 1 a week when I was in my job searches, because otherwise you end up losing half a day or a full day sometimes, because I live pretty rurally, so the drive. So just keep that in mind. All right. So as you set out on your own networking path, find what works for you, what you're comfortable doing, but also push your comfort. Make yourself uncomfortable. Do this thing first thing every morning. Do that uncomfortable thing first thing every morning. Get it out of the way. And then if you accomplish nothing else for the rest of the day, you know you did this hard thing, because networking is the number one thing after you figure out your personal branding and your value prop, is the number one thing you can do to accelerate your search. Okay, let's see. This is the end of the Job Search Accelerator. I have provided you with a roadmap that you can follow to accelerate your search. But if you want to be landed by fall, 2 to 3 months from now, the work is now. Dig in, do the work. And if you start to feel like you need some extra support, I am here. Please schedule your free Package Yourself for Profits call. The link is both in my profile and in the comment section, and in the show notes. Also, join that LinkedIn group. The link is also in the same places. I would love to work with you directly to get you landed faster. Your homework from today is to set up your Package Yourself for Profits call. It is free. You have nothing to lose. Every month that you go without landing is costing you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Your other homework is to continue to refine your value prop and your elevator pitch. Practice, practice, practice. Prepare and share your info at events. Put some events on your calendar. Start there. What are you going to attend in the next weeks and months? Put them on the calendar. Set specific goals around networking and join the LinkedIn group. I always like to leave with one last thought. Your network is your net worth. Did you connect with me? Make my network your network. That's how LinkedIn works. I look forward to connecting with you. Now go get that job.